Sadly, 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Are you? What can you do about it? That's what we're going to discuss. It's going to be brief. It's going to be quick. I've got an article here, and then I'm going to show you ways and what you can do to fix it. And first, we'll see what the issue is. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. If you look at this article here, it's from Forbes. It's about 2 weeks ago. Two things I want to point out. Living paycheck to paycheck statistics 2024. 2 points. This is the first. How many Americans are living paycheck to paycheck? They have two different surveys here. A 2023 survey last year conducted by payroll.org said that 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. In other words, 3/4 of Americans struggle to save or invest after paying their monthly expenses. That's horrible, and you might find yourself in this situation, but there are things you can do about it. Now, when they say 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, they basically mean that every dollar that comes in is going right out the door every month, and they can't save anything. Then there was, same year, last year, a Forbes advisor survey said 70% would identify as living paycheck to paycheck. But here's what's interesting. They broke that down into 40, living paycheck to paycheck, and 29% reported that their income doesn't even cover their standard expenses. In other words, the money they're bringing in every month doesn't cover their expenses. So what does that mean? That means they're going into debt. Well, what's the quickest, easiest, fastest way to get debt? Well, credit cards. So is this even possible? So I did a quick back of the napkin. There's about 258 million adults. It said that 82% of adults have a credit card. So that leaves 211 million adults. So if 211 million adults with a credit card and 30% of that aren't able to meet their expenses, that leaves us with 61 million people that can't pay their expenses every month and are going into debt. Let's assume it's credit card debt. Now, you've seen this before. Consumer loans, credit card debt shows you every year ended at 1,050,000,000. Okay, so that's 1,050 billion. And at the, let's say January of 23, let's just say, January 4, 23, almost 950 billion, and it ended the year. Okay, so it's about $100 billion, let's say, in 2023. So you have $100 billion. You have 61 million people going into debt on their credit cards. You divide 100 billion by that's 61 million, and you're going to end up with 1639. That's $1,639 per person. Is that possible that in the last year, that many people went up in credit card debt of $1,639? Absolutely. That's not much at all. I think the average is somewhere around 10,000 maybe. So if that's the case, then yeah, that does not surprise me. If that number came back and it was $200,000, then I would say this number doesn't make any sense. Okay, so back of the napkin, that makes sense. Or it's possible. So that's the unfortunate news. And again, you might find yourself in that category. Let's look at why. Why are they living paycheck to paycheck? So they have a bunch of columns here. They got baby boomers, Generation X, millennials, Gen Z. These are the people. And then this is the average of all of them. And then here are the reasons. Starting with high monthly bills. Okay, well, that makes sense. If you have trouble paying your bills, you're going to think all your bills are high. But this one stuck out at me, the second largest percent. Lack of budgeting and financial planning. To me, that's sad. That's sad because that's something that could easily be avoided. And as a father of 3, I was always frustrated that wasn't something they taught in school. And we did it at home, which was fine. My responsibility. I get that, and I did it, and they're fine. But for half of the people out there, of that, 78% of Americans, so half of the 78%, all right, what's that? Almost 40% of Americans don't know how to budget, financially plan. That's terrible. It's something they should have taught. Okay, so if you take a look at my channel, you go to the Hack Your Finances channel, you scroll down. I only have a couple playlists because I just have 3 things: the get out of debt, the credit cards, investing. But I have this playlist for a 6-video course. This took me a while to put together. There's 6 videos. You can see it says 1 of 6, 2 of 6, 3 of 6. Goes all the way through to 6 of 6. Now, this series walks you through the very basics. And there's a spreadsheet that goes along, and you can follow along with it. So when you click through on the link, you'll see the spreadsheet. You click it, that'll open up the spreadsheet. All the tabs are locked, but that's okay because what you can do, you can make a copy of the spreadsheet and use it for yourself. But each one of these tabs goes along with the various videos. So there's video 1, video 2. Starts off, it shows you example budget and explains how you can walk through and determine your current cash flow, your expenses, your income, your expenses, maybe some savings, and then it'll tell you like it's calculating here, don't touch it. Gives you an example at the bottom of a budget and how people spend. And then it walks you through with each video how to balance your wants and your needs. Then it goes through budgeting for the future, how you can adjust your budget. And then very, very important, it'll go through your debt, inventorying your debt, and how to lay the debt out in front of yourself so you can compare and you can decide and accelerate your debt reduction to get you out of debt. Then the last part is a simple balance sheet. And you can add things, but it goes through what are your assets, what do you own, what are your liabilities. Why do you do this? Well, because you want to see your net worth and you want to see it going up. So the first 5 videos are showing you how to budget, how to get out of debt, and then that way, hopefully you'll have some money left over that you can start saving. Because if you're not able to save on a month-to-month basis, well, honestly, what's the point? Why are you working so hard? You might need to make some major life adjustments if you're barely able to pay your bills and your net worth is not growing. You want your net worth, meaning what you are worth, whether it be, your house, the equity in the home, or a car, or assets, or stocks, or bonds, or gold, or silver, whatever, cryptocurrency. You add it all up and you say, okay, each month you want that to grow. That makes you feel a lot better about what you're doing on a daily basis. One day you want to be able to retire, but none of that's going to happen if you're not able to save. Especially not going to happen for those that are not paying their bills and going into debt even more every month. So you want to stop the debt, stop the bleeding, and then find that excess so that you can start saving and growing your wealth. So I hope this article, and the point of that article was to point out that, hey, if you find yourself in that situation, you're not alone. A lot of Americans are in that situation. It's dire, especially now, but there are things you can do to get things under control because, as I always say, the government does not care about you. Big banks, they don't care about you. So it's up to you to take control of your financial future. So take a look at those courses, completely free. They're in a playlist. You can run through all of them, and hopefully that'll help you get things under control. Have a great day.